All right, I'm excited
Hi,
for
Ava.
our chat on excitement.
Yeah, exactly. So we're on our own today, which is kind of cool. We kind of like have the whole space. Not that it's just not cool when there are people there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's fun to have a different one. And
Yeah.
it's about excitement. And like I said a little when we were off camera, I actually Googled excitement,
Mm.
um, the excitement definition, because I was like, what is excitement? So I'm going to tell you what Google says. Google says it's a noun. It's a feeling of great enthusiasm and eagerness.
Mm.
And there's also something that arouses enthusiasm and eagerness, an exciting incident. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So it is, yeah. So it's about pleasure. It's about a sense of anticipation. And when I feel excitement, and I like to think that I actually feel excitement quite a lot in my life, and it's the very definition of feeling alive and hopeful and looking forward, looking forward to something and to more of life, to more of the feeling of aliveness. And I think, my obviously my states of excitement, they fluctuate, and I like to plan things into my diary that I think we're going to be that will excite me, that I'll be excited about,
So
whether
you
it's
plan
travel.
for excitement.
I plan for excitement,
Okay.
but I also I mean, I watch my kids and their levels of excitement about possibilities and creating and doing new things. And it can be, I announced a competition that a friend sent me for kids who are at home and homeschooling. And she designs rugs, like beautiful hand-woven rugs. And for the children, she announced a competition that they can sketch or draw or paint something from nature that they get inspired by. And then if they win, they get a rug based on their design. And the levels of excitement around this competition, which they clearly, have a limited chance of winning, but it wasn't the point. The pens and pencils were at the ready, and there were drawings, and it was the pure thrill of doing something completely new, of creating that sense of possibility for what might happen, what might be. And that was much more powerful than the destination of winning the rug. Do you see what I mean? I brought it up today and I said, oh, maybe you want to do another drawing for the competition. And they were like, yeah, maybe. And it had passed.
Yeah.
So the excitement was in the act of thinking about the possibility and being in that space of excitement about the potential, rather than the destination of actually winning the rug. It was the thought of it
Mm.
that propelled the excitement rather than the actual arrival at the rug. And the rug coming home and being pride of place in our kitchen.
Well, it's funny because, it's funny that you brought up your kids because I don't have any kids, but,
Mm,
you know, in thinking about excitement,
mm,
my thoughts went to I haven't been excited in a long time. Um, which is not true.
No,
No, which is totally not
I've seen you excited.
exactly. I get excited about a lot of stuff,
Mm,
but I could see, I could remember when I was a kid,
mm,
like we have this big amusement park here, and my parents, we weren't like super rich, but when we were going somewhere, it was a big, it was a big event.
yeah.
And I could remember, you know, being told, um, we're going to La Ronde, and
Mm,
like just like anticipating this the day of and the day prior, and I remember that feeling of in my stomach of oh, I'm so excited, like tomorrow we're going, and and I think I had equated it, like I'm kind of like I equated excitement to that feeling, and that feeling I don't have in my stomach anymore. Like I don't,
mm,
but I do get excited. I get,
yeah.
you know, I kind of like have fun, and I kind of, you know, but I don't have that little feeling anymore, you
Yeah,
know?
not the butterfly feeling, but when I thought about excitement, I thought it's very much tied up with our creative potential and our imagining of new possibilities and new futures and new happenings. And it's hugely bound up in what we're exploring as part of the Supercoach Academy and the principles, and that because it is a state of being, that state of excitement. And I think studying at the Supercoach Academy and learning about the principles, I felt really excited by the possibilities of life currently and the way it looks and what it could look like, and the change that the conversations that we're having with people can bring about in their lives. And that's super exciting.
Okay, come and see, Eva. Come on,
I lost my dog just before the lockdown.
come on.
He had cancer,
Oh,
and he was 11 years old, and so I miss him so much. So
oh.
hello, puppy.
This is Bopi.
Oh, he's
I
beautiful.
totally get your I'm not discarding the loss of your dog. Trust me, I this is a little piece of me, and I love her. And so my
Mm,
condolences to you.
thank you.
um what I wanted to say is, like, yes, definitely understanding, you know, the three principles. I'm a big thinker. I like,
Mm.
I'm sure I'm not alone. But
Uh,
let's just say I could overthink things. Um,
Funnily enough, you're not.
and yes, definitely getting to understand that what I'm thinking is not the truth definitely brings excitement.
Mm,
You know, yeah, it's true. It brings me into this state of, oh wait, what I've thought all my life is not true. Or it seemed real. It's kind of like it makes me make a distinction between true and real.
yeah. You know what the most exciting thing that I heard, which is probably the one statement that made me sign up for the academy course, was that we're only one thought away from a new reality. Now, nothing could be more exciting than that.
Hmm.
At every moment, moment to moment, that we're one thought away from a whole new reality. That's extraordinary. And then it just opens up your whole world, the possibility for just about anything to be. And, you know, I've carried stuff in my life very heavily in the past on the basis that, you know, I felt it was all on me. And knowing now that it's not all on me, and that change can happen, and it can happen quickly and effortlessly, and I don't have to carry it as heavily as I have done in the past. It's so liberating. So, you know, I don't know if I've told you, Jasmine, but I'm pivoting from one part of my career to coaching and mentoring, business consulting. I used to have my own business, and it was a big part of my life, and I sold it and I walked away, and I was exhausted because I really did believe it was all on me, and I acted like it. And so this time around, armed with this knowing and this understanding of, I can try shit. I'm one thought away from a different reality. I don't have to carry it as heavily as I did before. Is really exciting, because I give myself less of a hard time about all of my decisions, because I know that actually the decision that I've made right now is for right now, based on what I know right now, and that could change tomorrow, and that I can change with it. I can pivot with that without giving myself a hard time. And yeah, that feels exciting. And I look out at the world post-COVID, and I was very cross with COVID for interrupting my trip to Santa Monica to go and hang out with all of you guys. And then, I look back now and I think COVID's come along, and it's almost cleared a path for the work that we're doing. It's pulled the trees apart to create a path for people to have clarity in their lives and look and expect more from the quality of their lives day to day, year upon year. And I think it's created an opportunity for us to have this conversation with more people immediately, and for them to understand what we're talking about, really get it. And I think, wow, so COVID has done a lot of, really unpleasant things and caused a lot of suffering for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I think if we can get excited about anything in relation to COVID, it's that it's helped a whole generation of people look around them, look up from where they are, and think, is this the way? Do I want to go back to the way things were in my life? And maybe right now I have an opportunity to change that, because the world's just stopped. It stopped. The rat race was called off for a period of time to allow us to stop and reflect. And my sister sent me an article this morning saying that the suicide rate in Japan in April had decreased by 20%. And, people are feeling the benefit of less stressful lives, leading less cluttered lives, less intensely lived existences. And she also told me she works for the government in Ireland, and they're looking really closely at how people are experiencing a new way of working from home, spending more time with their families, not commuting, and how they feel about it. And how, if we can gather that data and understand it, what might it mean for how we move forward when our restrictions aren't in place. And we're seeing an opportunity to give certain people the opportunity to have a bit more control over the way in which they live their lives. And that's exciting, because certain people thought that they could never change the way in which their lives were being lived, because the rat race went on and we all followed. And we got on the trains and we got on the tubes and the metros, and we got in our cars and we drove for hours to get to the office, and we did the same on the way home. But that was all called off. And it's allowing us this opportunity to look at it differently, and that's exciting. And when we want to cheer ourselves up about not being able to get on an airplane and go on a lovely holiday somewhere in the south of France or somewhere sunny and warm, we understand the benefit to the environment of not flying thousands and thousands of planes around in the sky, and that we've actually given a gift to the natural world again by, trying less hard to destroy it. And there we are. There's another exciting opportunity to relook at climate change, because there's certain things that felt intractable, impossible before COVID. It was too hard. Everything was too hard. It's too difficult to tackle that, because it felt that so much would have to change in order for this thing to change. And yet, look how much we've had to change and how quickly we managed to do that because of COVID.
It was kind of like, well, we can't ask the population to do this because, it's not a life and death thing. It was not a human life and death thing. It was a planet life and death thing. But now it's a human life and death thing. So now it's like, okay, well, if the humans are going to die, we got to stop everything. And then I think it's kind of like a side effect. I mean, that COVID, the what it's doing to the environment is actually a side effect, but it's a fantastic side effect.
It's a fantastic side effect.
Yeah, and I'm happy for it too. Like, I think in what we've learned, I never really, and one of the things that we've learned in Super Coach Academy, or in ever since I've been studying the principles, is that the tree does what the tree does. And it grows wherever it decides to grow. And it doesn't wonder whether it should not. Should I do it somewhere else? Where should I go? Oh, there's asphalt here. Oh, that's okay. I'll just pierce through it, And the fact that we're less active and we're less spreading whatever we spread, like, I think, like, I have this vision of, well, the earth is just gonna fix itself, because that's what it does. Do you understand? Like, it's kind of like, okay, well, let's let me develop COVID so that these guys stay home, so that I can just fix myself in that time.
It's an interesting theory.
But that's just made up. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm not a biologist or an
No.
anthropologist, I should say. So, but it's interesting to see, like, yeah, it's very, very exciting to see.
I mean, it's interesting. I look out from where we are, and we just live outside of London in a small town, and it's semi-rural. So there's lots of opportunities for riding bikes and going for walks in the woods, and seeing how many people are out walking, out cycling with their kids, enjoying the natural world. We talk a lot about in the principles are, we are part of the universal energy, and how connected we all are to each other, but also to the natural world. And as you cuddle your lovely doggy, and I realize, the extent of my grief for my Rufus, you realize how important that connection is, that connection to the earth. And as people are taking more time to walk in the woods and cycle their bikes slowly and take in the beauty of the planet, I can't help but think that we're all going to be a little bit more connected to the conversation around climate change and conservation.
I didn't even realize how much I was connected to nature. I kind of like, it's not something I think about. I just don't think about it. And a couple of years ago, I moved in the middle of winter, and it was like minus 37, 5,000. It was freaking cold.
That's very Canadian.
And I lived in a home, and I had a lot of house plants. Like, as I have a house plant.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And when I moved, I was very distraught. I was going through a lot of things, and when I moved my plants, I didn't take care of them properly, and they all died.
Oh. And
that was one of my biggest regrets. Like, I would think of, I had plants that were 25 years old, and I was like, can't believe I didn't think of them. And I was like, I was brokenhearted. I have one plant that stayed with me, and it's a little bamboo that was in a heart in water, and it was in my car, and the car was running, and there was heat in the car, so it survived.
Yeah.
But everything else died, and I was brokenhearted. And when I moved into my condo, I was like, I need plants, So I have plants. Like, if you can see, this is one of my favorites. And then I have my little, I have my little ones there.
Yeah, I see those. Yeah, they're lovely.
Two big ones in my room, and I have another one there, and I have one that just died. I think it was infested with bugs. I have no idea what happened, but I look at it and I'm saying, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tried, But yeah, I realized how they are important to me. Like I look at them, and the other day, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, but I posted a picture of this plant is growing, and I just got present to, and I was excited. I have to, I had excitement, and I was like, look at that. It's like, it's growing. I'm doing something good. I'm like feeding it. I'm giving it water. And I could, and in that moment, it was really like, I am present right now. I can actually see life,
unfurling.
Yeah, it was just like this plant was doing its thing, and all I did is give her water and give her love.
Yeah. And I guess, back to our topic of excitement, maybe excitement, unlike childlike excitement, but excitement comes in little flourishes and sometimes big waves, but you felt a ripple of excitement looking at that plant
Yeah.
and what was happening and what kind of change you were affecting. And it was, there's a real beauty in that, and a sense of your powers of creation and your aliveness and the aliveness of the plant.
Yeah. Hmm. So funny. I think about that sometimes with buildings too. You know, when I walk by a building that's like dilapidated, like, yeah, there's no, it's not alive, it's cement or whatever, but I still think of that. Like, I often think of that. Like, poor building.
No one loves you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. This is a beautiful conversation. I was having a walk yesterday with my dog, and, and I see that I resist saying, oh, I have these deep conversations. Like, I don't talk about surface. I can't talk about surface. Well, I can, of course, but I kind of get bored with it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, time to go to bed. These conversations, I could, have them all the time. And I think that's why I have so many.
I think it's lovely. And I think it allows just that sense of getting lost in some thinking that is light and fun and exploratory and expansive. And it leaves you with a feeling of, I suppose, a sense that anything's possible. But
You know what I also like about this conversation that we're having? It's, when I looked for the definition of excitement, like, you can read, like, there's so many different ones. There's so many, like, so many dictionaries and so many different descriptions and definitions, and like, for me, what I really love is that I can just go, nah, that one doesn't work for me. And then go, oh yeah. Like, it's really, and there's no judgment about it. It's like, for me, it's this one. For you, it could be another one.
Something else entirely.
Yeah. That one, that speaks to me. That, nah. And it's okay.
I like that.
It's okay. I'm very attracted to the words, there's nothing wrong.
So am I.
Because for all my life, it was like, oh no, don't do that. That's wrong. Oh, you can't do that. That's not right. That's, like, there is so much wrong. And, well, I mean, there was a lot of good too, but my focus, like, what really was important to me was like, okay, it's wrong. Now, when something was wrong, it was like this big, huge thing. It just became,
I know. Overshadowed everything.
You know what? And excitement was one of them. Because I could get excited a lot, and my parents would be like, whoa, calm down. Calm down. you know, and I made it that was wrong, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to a client this morning who talked, he periodically has periods of anxiety. And we were talking about his triggers and when it started. And he said, I think I learned to be anxious from a very early age because I mimicked it. It's how I knew to navigate safely in the world, was to worry, to be anxious, to consider all the potential trip hazards.
I get that, you know, because I knew what to do with anxiety. Right?
Yeah.
Like whenever I was anxious or whenever I was sad, or I knew what to do with that. Okay, well, if I'm anxious, this is what I'm going to do. Like I had this kind of like security, false security inside of me. Like, because I knew what to do with it. Well, if I'm not anxious, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And what I'm learning here is there's nothing to do. Which in itself is super exciting.
I know. My client had his pen poised and he was like, so, and I thought, oh, you better put your pen down, first of all, because all you have to do is notice it. It's in the noticing. And I think that's exciting, the message that we have for our clients, which is you don't have to try hard here. It's that lovely message about trying hard isn't actually helpful.
Yeah.
And we have spent our lives, I mean, I certainly have spent most of my life thinking trying hard and working really hard and a lot of self-sacrifice and denial will eventually mean success and achievement. And in some cases, yes, some of those things are necessary in small doses, but knowing that success doesn't have to equate to a lot of negative things is quite liberating.
Yeah.
Well, my darling, I have to go because I am now backed up to another thing. My Zoom life is crazy.
Okie dokie. Well, I have somebody calling me, so.
Oh my God, it's just perfect timing.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
It was really fun. It was really fun. You too. Get your phone call.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.